Introducing SkyRibbon, a family of recessed linear wall grazing, wall washing, and direct view LED lighting fixtures available in IntelliHue, Essential White, and Essential Color. IntelliHue, Philips' advanced approach to color mixing, enables intensely saturated color-changing effects and high-quality white light from a single fixture. SkyRibbon Power Core delivers extraordinary color consistency and uniformity across multiple fixtures, achieving a color variation of less than 2 Mach atom ellipsis, differences that are virtually imperceptible to the human eye. The SkyRibbon family is available in multiple housing options and a variety of beam angles for superior design flexibility, supporting a full range of indoor, general illumination, and accent lighting applications. SkyRibbon Wall Washing Power Core is ideal for illuminating vertical surfaces and can be rotated up to 90 degrees to evenly wash walls top to bottom regardless of fixture setback. SkyRibbon Wall Grazing Power Core is designed to accentuate the architectural details of textured surfaces. And SkyRibbon Linear Direct Power Core is a revolutionary recessed LED fixture, ideal for both downlighting and direct view applications. Transform indoor environments with the full spectrum of high-quality LED light with SkyRibbon.
Wall washing. So when we start thinking about artificial lighting, what we start with is natural day lighting. So something like the sky outside. What type of lighting is generated by that? And is it static? Is it changing throughout the day? And the sun really changes. When the sun rises, the color is very different in the middle of the day. And then as sun sets, the color changes there as well. And the luminance levels go up and down as you have clouds pass over the sky. So when we start trying to create an artificial lighting source, what can we do to best mimic that natural daylight? And our response to this was coming from a customer need of wanting to do some type of dynamic lighting together with good quality white lighting, as well as some type of dynamic color changing effect to really bring interest to the room. A lot of our customers have asked us for this combination together before, so what could we do with that? And our response to that has been the SkyRibbon product line. This is a family of wall washing fixtures, so think about 2 to 3 feet off of the wall trying to illuminate a vertical surface, a perimeter slot grazing fixture to try to highlight texture on a surface, bring that out of the architecture, as well as a linear direct fixture to do both general illumination task lighting as well as a direct view for visual interest purposes. And all three of these product lines come in EW, so static white, EyeColor, or the new IntelliHue product. The new IntelliHue technology combines both good quality white light as well as dynamic color changing into a single fixture. So what is IntelliHue exactly? With IntelliHue, we're offering high CRI, greater than 80 from 2700K to 4000K. And this also offers less than 2 Mach atom ellipse color variation from fixture to fixture when you have ChromaSync enabled. With the SkyRibbon fixtures in IntelliHue, you actually get greater than 85 CRI across this range, and that's tunable from 2000K to 10,000K. So you have this huge range of color temperature tunability with high CRI across the general usable white range that you use in indoor applications. We very easily allow you to get to white points very quickly and precisely, not only with CCT, but also that hue of white light. So you can match other technologies in that installation. Make it a little green to match your halogen or a little pink to match your fluorescent. In this tunable white light, you also have the ability to do dynamic color changing effects all from a single fixture. So you get the essential white capability with the IntelliHue capability plus the EyeColor capabilities all inside of a single fixture with this ability to rapidly and accurately and precisely get to specific CCTs with very small color variation from fixture to fixture. Typical RGB fixtures can produce 16.7 million colors because you have 255 DMX steps for each of those channels. with the new SkyRibbon fixtures, we actually have 5 channels now. So we include a 4000K and a mint white LED, which is really a blue shifted yellow. And that LED is very particular to help increase CRI as well as help increase lumen output. That mint white you can see on the CIE diagram is up by the teal and yellow range, and that's really where it helps increase the spectral content there. So that helps us increase both CRI as well as increasing the lumen output of the fixture. And because we have 5 channels now, we can actually produce up to 1.1 trillion different colors. So you have a wide variety of very precise targets that you can now hit. So we move away from the CIE diagram and start talking about the spectral content. What we'd really like to do in the best case scenario is to accurately mimic daylighting. And so an incandescent lamp does a pretty good job of that, because there's a wide range of spectral content with a peak around the green or the yellow, which is the peak sensitivity of the eye, and you have everything from deep blue to deep red, and all of those wavelengths are present and relatively even. When you start looking at something like an RGB fixture, you can see there's next to no spectral content in the yellows, and there's a big dip in the teal. And so that really does not allow you to accurately render those colors and allow you to mimic a natural source like daylighting. Something like a 3000K LED fixture gets a lot closer. You're still missing some of that spectral content in the teal, but it's a much broader band source that better renders the color. And then if we move to something like a SkyRibbon IntelliHue spectral content, you can see there's a very broad band. There's still some peaks in the red and in the blues, but there's a huge range of sources and range of colors available so it can well render those products. And if we want to reduce those peaks in the red and the blue, all we have to do is turn on those LEDs a little bit. With all of these channels that we have available to us, this gives us very fine control of both our color, our color temperature. So not only can we choose a specific CCT that we like between 2000K and 10,000K, but now we can purposely move off that block body curve to try to match other technologies in our installation.
Oh, you're not in yet?
Halogen, a little pink fluorescent, you can quickly, easily, digitally get to that color. So with the IntelliHue products, we tried to help everyone get to the white CCT that they're looking for as quickly and easily as possible. And we did that by updating our color play and effect manager software. And you can see a screenshot of that on the right-hand side. So you don't need to think about picking white CCTs just by trying to figure out what your DMX values are. Trying to think in how much red, green, and blue I need in order to get to 3000K is a little mind-bending. So what happens when now I have 5 sliders that I could use, 2 white sliders and this RGB? How would I get there? And so what we're doing is we're trying to do that map for you. And we're trying to maximize the amount of lumen output while maintaining that high CRI across the range so that you can quickly and easily get to those targets, those hues of white that you want and those specific CCTs that you want. So you can pick your colors the same way that you would with an RGB fixture today, but now you have a little bit more precise control of that because there are more variations between those 5 channels. There's also a new technology included on the SkyRibbon products called ChromaSync. And you can think of ChromaSync as digital bidding. What we're trying to do is increase the fixture-to-fixture consistency over the lifetime of the manufacturing. So this means that if you buy a SkyRibbon product today, you buy one tomorrow, or you buy one 3 years from now to add on to your installation that you already did, you can still get to a color variation of less than 2 microanalyses from fixture to fixture when you're on white CCTs. And this gives us very, very high precision. So there's all the colors are very well clustered together. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're accurate. So when you're demonstrating this to a client and they pull out their white meter and you turn on 3000K, you may be at something like 3050K. So we're close, but we're not necessarily right on 3000K. So what you can do is actually change your input a little bit, so turn it to 27 or turn it to 2950 so that the center point can move to 3000K if that's what they're interested in. So that's kind of how you can get around that in a demonstration setting. So why is SkyRibbon so important? It's because it really allows you to have never before seen light effects out of a single fixture, being able to do high quality white lighting with good quality saturated dynamic color effects all in a single fixture. You get CCT and hue tunability, and you get high quality white light, so you're not getting beam striations, you're not having problems with color over angle, so the center of the beam is more yellow, the outside of the beam is more blue. This is well mixed, high quality general illumination white lighting. With the wall washing fixtures, you can get even more illumination or more even wall washing than you could with the board very symmetric. Plus, you get that ability to do saturated color. When you're comparing it to something like a halogen system, you can actually reduce your energy cost and have a significantly lower operating cost. You could actually use less wall washing fixtures in an installation to produce the same light levels as something like halogen. And the way that you do that is there are a wide variety of beam angle options, so that you can keep your throw vertically the same, increase your throw horizontally, and therefore increase your fixture-to-fixture spacing, decreasing the total cost of installation, while providing the same luminance levels that you could with other technologies. So there's three different form factors that SkyRibbon comes in. The first one is the wall washing version. And this is really for something like spotlighting, flood lighting, or wall washing applications. And so they come in four different housing options: a T-bar, a slot T, a flange drywall, or flangeless drywall for a number of recessed installations. They're available in both EW, EyeColor, and the IntelliHue versions. EW and EyeColor are dimmable via ELV dimming. There's 8 different beam angle options. It comes with a 20 to 20 degree beam angle, and you can get anything from a narrow spotlight at 30 by 30 to a wide flood at 90 by 90. And there's these elliptical beam patterns like 35 by 105, 40 by 80, and 70 by 90. And these will be extremely helpful when trying to increase your fixture-to-fixture spacing while maintaining a high quality of luminance on the wall in order to drop the total cost of installation. IntelliHue really offers this groundbreaking technology with the ability to do high-quality white light as well as dynamic saturated color all in a single fixture. The next version is the wall grazing product. And the wall grazing is really similar to a graze product or a fuse product today, in terms of a very narrow beam angle trying to highlight texture on a surface to that surface. These have the same installation options. You can do T-bar, slot T, flange drywall, or flangeless. And these have 5 beam angle options. It comes in at 10 degree native, and you can add some holographic diffusion films. So you can get the same beam angles as fuse or graze, that 10 by 60 or 30 by 60 that everyone knows and loves. Or you can have additional 2 beam angle options, so 10 by 90 or 30 by 30, to give you some more flexibility on site. These again are available in both EW and EyeColor, as well as in the IntelliHue. The last version we're going to talk about is the linear direct version. And this is really for downlighting or direct view applications. In terms of white light output, both the IntelliHue version and the EW version are the output of a single T5. These are also available in the same installation options for recessed installs: T-bar, slot T, flanged and flangeless drywall. And these are also dimmable via ELV dimming for the essential white version. And the IntelliHue version is also available. And IntelliHue for this will be very interesting because you can do high quality general illumination equivalent to a single T5, and then simply with the push of a button totally transform your environment by moving to something like a color changing or wayfinding effect. The ordering process is a little bit different than some of our other fixtures. You have these building blocks that you get to put together. So you first, when choosing a SkyRibbon product, you first want to think about what voltage am I at? Am I at 120 or 277? And then you want to say, what type of housing am I going to go into? Do I need T-bar, slot T, flange drywall, flangeless drywall? And then you want to think, am I intelligent or am I static? So do I need EW housing or an IntelliHue housing? And those 3 combinations will get you to your first product that your customer is going to order, the housing. And they'll want to order that first because they're going to want to install it first. especially with something like a flange drywall installation where they need some mud over the edge of the fixture to really integrate it into the architecture. That needs to be ordered and installed before the LED module is installed. So once that's completed, they'll order the LED module, the specific size that they need. So for a wash fixture, they just have a 2-foot option, and then for the Grazing and the direct fixtures, they have 1-foot and 4-foot options. So they'll order those. And then the spread lenses can actually go on any of the versions, so either the static or the IntelliHue versions. And then your accessories, your cabling, there's one version for North America, so the jumper and leader cables come in flexible conduit, or there's a separate version for CE installations, so for Europe. In terms of target applications, we see a wide variety of these. So in hospitality, it's really about creating a warm, welcoming environment, as well as trying to have flexible environments. So think of things like conference centers, where you want to have general illumination during the day when there's a conference going on, but you want to be able to have some type of flexible lighting at night for events. So instead of having a hotel or a conference space bring in rental lighting and hire someone every time to program that rental lighting, they could actually have pre-programmed presets that they could simply change to with the touch of a button. And that could really allow them to charge more for that space because the clients aren't going to have to bring in that rental lighting. In terms of healthcare, we see a lot of this already today, trying to reduce stress in patients in a very stressful environment and try to create welcoming areas, both in waiting areas and reception areas to try to get people to feel comfortable and welcome, but as well as patient areas to try to reduce that. We've been involved in a lot of research around healthcare lighting and how the spectral content of light can actually affect patients. So if you have any particular opportunities that you'd like us to look into, absolutely give us a call, either me, Colleen Hufford, or our other product manager, Catherine Rose, and we'd be happy to try to talk with them and help them with that research. In retail environments, it's all about trying to attract shoppers and get them to stay longer in that environment. As customers move more and more to online purchases, brick and mortar stores are very interested in trying to engage shoppers as well as to enhance in-store sales. So in order to do that, trying to bring a very engaging, exciting experience where customers want to spend longer and therefore may purchase more is very interesting to those areas. And then in office spaces, it's about branding and it's about trying to motivate and enhance employee engagement and trying to enhance the comfort in that space. And you can do that by creating flexible spaces and creating unique dynamic environments. In terms of control, you're going to have very different controllers depending on what type of space you're doing and what type of effects your clients need. If you're doing something like a commercial lobby or a meeting room, you may be considering something like an EyeColor 3 because it has a lot of flexibilities. It has up to 2 universes available. And so these fixtures ship in a 3 to 5 mode, meaning you have 3 channels of input and the fixture actually produces 5 channels of output. So that means for every foot of the fixture, you're only utilizing 3 DMX channels. However, these fixtures have the capability of having 5 channels in and 5 channels out, and the capability of doing 16-bit mode, which means that you could be using up to 10 channels per foot of fixtures. So you could use those universes quite quickly in a small space. With the EyeColor 3, you have the opportunity to do things like automated scheduling and integration with third-party sensors. And you have the ability to custom design your dynamic effects. These also have removable SD cards, so if you are in something like a COVID environment where they want the same effects and the same shows available everywhere, they can simply send out SD cards to all of their locations in order to do that. If you're in a larger space, you may be like a commercial floor or an entire building. You may want to start considering something like the Light System Manager, the Pharaohs, which have multiple zone controls with the ability to control each zone. And you can actually have iPhone and Android apps for each of those zones. You can again integrate these with third-party sensors and other controls, and you also have the option of doing scheduling. Pharaohs has some additional benefits as well, because you can customize the user interface to just about anything you want to do. The users can design the buttons that they want and the shows that want to play for those buttons and the scheduling, and so it allows the customer a lot of customization of the interface, and especially the touchscreen interfaces like the TPC. There's logic-based controllers that you can, or logic-based triggers that it has, as well as remote access. So if you have a large-scale group, or for some reason the main users need to remote in to change the show or change the scheduling of the shows, that's also where the Pharaohs could be really beneficial. And you can also do things like audio input, integrating that with the live text that you have playing. On the other side of the coin, there are smaller offices or meeting rooms where you might want to consider something like an EyeColor Keypad, because it is one of our lowest cost controllers. You have some pre-programmed effects available to you, and it's pretty easy to install with a small number of addresses. And all of the effects are still possible with this. You can do high-quality white light, the IntelliHue, and the tunable white light effects all in Effect Manager. And these will easily integrate with iPhone and Android apps as well. Let's talk a little bit about the specifications of these. So let's look at the first two columns with the wall washing fixtures. Per foot, you get about 1,700 lumens out of an EW fixture. And these are 2-foot long fixtures, and so essentially you're getting 2 EW glass side by side in terms of output. And there's 8 different beam angle options that it comes with, so it gives you a huge amount of flexibility. With the IntelliHue version, you're almost 1,200 lumens per foot, so you have a lot of light output for high quality, usable white light. And these beam angle options are really important because you have anything from a very narrow spot, if your fixture is pretty far away from what you're illuminating, to a wide flood, if you don't need a lot of contrast between your general illumination and what you're spotlighting, as well as these elliptical beam patterns, which will really help you increase your fixture-to-fixture spacing, because you'll maintain your level of luminance on the wall while decreasing the total number of fixtures that you need for that installation. There's LUFOs available for both of these. The power consumption is about 70 watts per foot or so, which brings your efficacy to around 53 lumens per watt. And your run lengths are around 42 total feet of fixtures, so about 21 fixtures on a 120 volt run. And there's also 277 volt options, so you can almost double those run lengths. There's quite a bit of mechanical adjustability as well. You can go all the way flat to the ceiling and all the way out 90 degrees perpendicular to the ceiling. And on the LED module, every 10 degrees, there are little notches in the side of the end cap for the LED module, so you can visually see about what your angle is when you're trying to line up a large number of these in a line. That visual indication gives you some help to do that. And this is a continuous adjustment, so you can choose any angle between 0 and 90 degrees. So if we look at the middle two columns with the EW wall grazing and the IntelliHue wall grazing, you can see we have a very high light output. If you compare the EW wall grazing to something like EW Fuse, EW Fuse only has about 550 lumens at 2700K, and you're getting almost 1,000 lumens out. So you're getting 25% or so increase in light output out of this recessed fixture. You can choose from 1 foot and 4 foot lengths for both of these. With the IntelliHue product, you get 800 lumens, which is again quite a bit more light output than you get out of an EW Fuse. In terms of light output for RGB, you get almost 400 lumens. So you get essentially a color fuse and an EW fuse side by side in terms of light output, and it's definitely not double the cost. So you have this wide variety of beam angle options, the same beam angles that you get for EW fuse, with 2 additional beam angles on top. The power consumption is about 15 watts per foot for the EW and about 25 watts per foot if you're running all 5 channels full on, which makes the efficacy about 60 and 45 lumens per watt. There's also some mechanical adjustability. You can move plus or minus 8 degrees off the center. This allows you some flexibility if the ceiling is not completely perpendicular with your wall, so you have some adjustment there, as well as moving the center of the beam all the way up from the top to the bottom of the wall in something like a 12-foot ceiling. So there's some wiggle room built in there if necessary. The linear direct fixtures, both of them are the output of a single T5, so about 550 lumens when on whites. They come in 1 foot and 4 foot lengths. There's only one beam angle option, the 100 by 100. The power consumption on whites is about 12 and about 25 for the IntelliHue. And this puts your efficacy at about 44 lumens per watt out of there. So we see some really unique opportunities that are possible out of these SkyRibbon fixtures because you have both the combination of intelligent RGB control with the tunable light control. Because you can tune it from 2000 to 10,000 K, you have greater than 85 CRI and that 2700 to 4000 K range, and you can get less than 2-step gamma lift from fixture to fixture when you have ChromaSync enabled. So this really gives you a lot of opportunities to outdo our competition because no one else can do this right now. You can create things like custom shows to coincide with holidays or special events, as well as having that high-quality general illumination white light. We designed this to be as easy to install as possible to try to reduce the number of steps of comparable fixtures in similar types of application spaces, and to try to make this as quick as possible. And we try to do things to prevent any type of issues in the field. So we poke-yoke these things, meaning that we try to reduce any type of damage to the fixture or to the installation. So if you happen to put something like an EW LED module into an IntelliHue housing, you're not going to destroy either of those things, it just won't work properly. So once you swap the right LED module into the right housing, everything will work appropriately. We try to make this very modular in design. So the power supplies, which are inside the fixture housings when you order them, they're not something you have to order separately. Any of the accessories and LED modules are all field replaceable. So if 10 years down the line, when these fixtures start to go end of life, and you need to replace part of the fixture, you can actually replace just the part that's broken. So this really allows you to have a lot of flexibility and have a response when people ask what happens later on. And everything is accessible from below the ceiling plane. So if you have flangeless drywall installation, all the edges are mudded in, you can actually access all of the stuff from below the ceiling plane, trying to make it as easy as possible to replace. Against the competition, the SkyRibbon products are the only fixtures on the market that can offer both this high-quality white light and saturated color in a single fixture, while being able to do these dynamic, high-quality light effects. The ChromaSync technology is really unique to the market as well, and this digital binning will help you get to higher light output consistency that others can't with RGB fixtures. And the installation is very simple for the electrical contractor because there's only 4 wires. There's line neutral driving data into the fixture, the same as the rest of the color kinetics fixtures where you use a data enabler to control it, making it as simple as possible to install and add controllability to the lighting. In terms of positioning against other products in the Philips portfolio, these are the only products that have both controllable white light as well as dynamic color changing all on a single fixture. And this really allows dynamic lighting effects that aren't possible with any type of traditional fixtures, allowing our clients to really transform their environment simply through the lighting. There's some really unique selling points and benefits of SkyRibbon over other products. They have the same output or higher of any comparable EW fixture. So like we talked about with the perimeter slot fixture, the SkyRibbon fixtures actually have quite a bit more light output than EW Fuse does, both in terms of white light as well as saturated color. So you get the benefits of both saturated color as well as EW all combined into a single fixture. And we've changed our software to try to make it quick and easy to get to the specific white, not only the CCT, but the hue that you need to. So both Color Play and Effect Manager have that type of thing, getting rid of any type of guesswork and reducing the commissioning time. ChromaSync really helps us to decrease the fixture-to-fixture consistency simply through the software and firmware and the smart math that's going on within the fixtures themselves. So you don't need to have specific bidding codes or date codes or manufacturing runs. You don't have to keep track of any of that. So if you need to add to your installation at a later point in time, we can guarantee that you'll have that same 2-step mechanical ellipse between different fixtures, no matter when you actually purchase those fixtures. And you get this greater than 85 CRI from 2700K to 4000K, so you get high quality, useful general illumination white lighting, while still having the ability to individually control each of the units. So each foot is a separate node that you can coordinate and have different colors on. And you can get any of these benefits from any fixture that has more than 3 channels. And this is really independent of the form factor. So you could do IntelliHue in other form factors, coins, lines, and planes. And if you look at where we're going, you'll see that those new form factors are going to come out in the near future. So there's been quite a few questions from the market and some assumptions that we'd like to give you guys the right answers to. What is the real story? So there's an assumption from some customer that you're actually going to get less light output on white than you would on an EW fixture. And you can see that that's not necessarily true. When you're looking at something in comparison to like a blast, we're getting the same amount of white light output on an IntelliHue fixture that we are on an EW fixture. And we're doing that mainly because of that new mint white chip, that blue shifted yellow chip. And what that's doing is it fills in the teal and the yellow parts of the spectrum. And that allows us to not only increase the CRI, but that really increases the number of lumen output on the fixture as well. So we can get high efficacy and high output white lighting out of this 5-channel fixture. There's also a bit of an assumption that adding these additional control channels is getting really complex, and how do I figure out how to get to what I want? And the answer is that we've developed this in our color plane effect manager software by being able to make it very quick and easy to get to the white point or the color point that you're looking for without having to do any guesswork at what DMX value you need for each of the channels to get there. So we're trying to make it as quick and easy as possible to do this. There's also a bit of an assumption that this is going to be really expensive technology. And the way that we price this is we're only adding about 10% more than the standard EyeColor products that you would have with comparable output. So you get a little bit more price, but with this huge additional capability, because not only do you have the EyeColor capability, but you also have the IW capability and EW capability, all baked into a single fixture. There's also some challenges with seeing individual LED point sources, and so in order to navigate that, we're offering louvers for the wash and the graze product to try to minimize that visual angle, to try to decrease that visibility of those point sources so that they're not in direct view. And you can use both the spread lenses and the louvers together, so you can increase your beam angle and try to cut off that visual angle so that you can get both benefits at the same time. There's also some assets available on the web today. There are 5 different videos available at colorkinetics.com/SkyRibbon. There's one video to talk about the entire product family, one video to talk about IntelliHue, and one video to talk about each of the wash, graze, and direct product lines separately. Okay, if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact your category sales manager, or you can email me at colleen.hufford@philips.com. Thanks, everybody. It's been really great.